to governance. Our clerk of the board, Ms. Goddard, noted that we just wanted to review a next step, which is to request of staff to develop a new measure for technology OE that would track trends. I was going to say, because that's not the next step I asked for. I'm like, where's my next step? I know which one I asked for. That wasn't it. Need to see it because it's wrong. This is for the governance section. This is not.
Man.
You can sit down here, young man.
All they need to do is click on the plus at the top.
Yes, I know.
There you go, Megan.
All right, the next step is to provide information on how leave without pay is computed when paying teachers who have a 10-month contract.
Staff.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think it should be, because apparently instructional assistants can be impacted this way, so should be 10 months. Well, is it only the instructors in the classroom who are affected that way? Or is it all employees will get docked differently depending on which day of they took their leave without pay in the month? Oh, my.
Hi, it's all employees that are paid on a monthly basis because all monthly paid employees are paid the same amount every month. We don't have a standard daily rate of pay, so we don't pay them the same amount for a daily rate of pay. We pay a level pay over the course of the month. So it happens to all employees. No.
Because it could be 11
okay.
months?
It happens to even 12-month employees, like principals, for example, have the same thing.
If they're paid monthly.
Yes, which a majority of our employees are paid monthly.
Just end at all employees, and then we'll provide, okay?
But what I heard is it will be different if you're a yearly salaried employee who isn't paid monthly.
So why don't you just get the information? Why don't you just get the information?
Okay, then, Ms. Evans, we're turning it over to you.
All right, thank you very much. I think if we're going to get back on track, we have about 45 minutes for this work session, and hopefully we can get through it.
We have to eat.
Okay, but facilities isn't supposed to start until 1:30, right? Anyway, fine. We're a little bit behind, so.
I was just trying
Okay.
to keep us ahead of it.
Okay, so
Yes.
45 minutes if we can. Now we turn to reviewing the financial planning, financial administration, and asset protection operational expectations. We just received the monitoring report on it, so with this work session, we will review whether anyone had any questions about the OEs themselves or whether they had any suggestions for changing them. Mr. McElveen?
So I would just move to adjust the OEs as was discussed in the previous discussion to account for places where they don't really work with the current percentages. So like 2.4 you're at 97%, you can't improve 5%.
All
So,
right. Well-
and there are several of those, I believe. So.
Okay, does that motion have a second? All right, seconded by Ms. McLaughlin. And is there any discussion of it? You don't need to do it this way? All right, well, do we have consensus to do that? Okay, and Ms. Goddard, are you getting that down as a next step?
Okay, so what, in one of the measures, it said we'll improve by 5%, but you're at such a high percentage, there's not room to go another 5%. So just for staff to look at any measures where their indicator couldn't be met.
Pam, we can do it offline if you want.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Okay. Are there any other suggestions or concerns, or are we finished with this?
I heard several other points that were made about how we aggregate some things together that maybe should be separated. All I was going to say is that rather than go into the detail here, just ask staff to please give
take
the
him-
governance committee their
Okay.
recommendations on changes to.
All right, that,
And
okay,
the governance
with-
committee can consider them and bring them back to the board.
okay, so the next step on that would be for the staff to bring a recommendation for revisions to the governance committee, and the governance committee then will bring it back. Is that, if they have recommendations. With that, is there consensus that that's all we need to do at this point on this OE?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, excellent. So now we will go to our update, and Governance Committee has a few things to bring to you and to, hang on one second, let me get here. Why is this not moving? Okay. The first thing, when we have been discussing our retreat, which, as you know, the last time we changed the dates to February 20th and 21st to get it out of the budget timetable. One of the things the Governance Committee took a look at was this book, Strengths-Based Leadership by Tom Rath and Barry Conchie, I guess it is. The four members of the Governance Committee read this book. It's based on the Strength Finders 2.0 process, where it's leaders figure out what their strengths are and how people can work together as a team. We took a look at it and considered it as for training, for school board member training at the retreat. The leadership team is going to be receiving this training, I believe, this month, correct? And so Dr. Garza and the folks at Gallup said that they would allow this for school board members, offer it to school board members. The Governance Committee decided that rather than do it at this retreat, we would offer this to other board members to have a copy of the book, if you'd like to have a copy of the book, and also take advantage of the half-hour consultation with the Gallup organization, just as a one-on-one basis. We're not recommending it to be a full school board leadership piece at the retreat, although we did say that perhaps when the new board comes in January of 2016, that might be a reasonable thing for the new board to do. We've kind of gone beyond that, we feel, with this board. Mrs. Smith, did you have a...
I was just going to say, part of the book has the, do you call it a survey or the assessment tool? The
Right.
assessment tool's in there, so when you get the book, you can take the assessment tool, and then the half-hour consultation is based on that.
Right.
And they actually voluntarily offered this because they are using this book with some of our intern, future principal trainings, and then also with leadership team. So it was merely an offer that they made to you all, should you have been interested.
So I think that this is not an action item so much as an opportunity for individual board members. So if you would like to do that, if you would like to get a copy of the book, and you do have to have your own copy of the book in order to take the survey, I guess, is it Mrs. Goddard? You can see Mrs. Goddard, and then she can arrange for the executive coaching through the Gallup group just as a one-on-one basis. You can figure that out, Mr. Stork.
Is it available book on tape?
I
Any kind of
don't
audio
know.
version of this thing available? Yeah, I need that. I mean, I would need that.
I will tell you, it's a quick read. It's a very quick read.
Okay.
So anyone who wants to do that, please see Mrs. Goddard, and she'll both get you the book and organize for you to get the coaching itself. So with that, we can go on. I guess if there's a next step, it's just that individual board members will.
Question?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yes, Tammy.
As far as the half-hour training, is it a particular date, or is it as needed for you?
As needed for you.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, and then we will go on to, as you'll recall, the governance committee.
Evans?
Yes.
Just a quick note to that. From a process standpoint, Ms. Goddard, would it work if you just sent an email, a follow-up email to the entire board? And this way, we're all responding to you in one place, just saying, I'd like a copy of the book and I'd like to participate in the event.
Okay, that's fine.
Just because she may know the timing better than the rest of us.
All right, sounds good. Moving on to the audit committee charge. The board tasked the governance committee with going back over the charge to the audit committee. This was both to reflect actual practices as well as to reflect the Auditor General position. And this was, the language was brought to us by Teresa Weatherman. It was run by Mr. Moon as chair of the Audit Committee, and Mr. Moon happily is also a member of the Governance Committee, so he had 2 cracks at it. So are there any questions or comments or suggestions for revisions on the language? You'll see in that what we have here is the current charge that's in the Strategic Governance Manual, and then we have the proposed change underneath. Mr. McBean.
So in point number 3 up there, it does discuss reporting to the school board monthly. And I just wanted to make sure that the expectation there was not that we would be having a work session, but rather there would be a written report to the board. Is that correct?
Mr. Moon, did you want to
Yes.
answer that?
Okay, thank you.
And we also discussed the fact that the audit committee doesn't always meet. So they wouldn't meet in August, in which case the report would be we didn't meet. So, anything else? I mean, if this looks acceptable, then I believe the process then is for it to be put on an upcoming school board agenda. Correct? Okay. So with that, I see no other hands. We can go to the next, which is. I think we can leave that to the chair. Yeah, we'll just leave that to the chair. As you'll recall, in May, the governance committee was tasked with looking at a new measurement for the technology OE. This, I believe, it was brought up by Mr. Valkoff about tracking the security breach trends in security breaches. So we worked with Mary Beth Lefglass to come up with a new measurement here. One point to raise is that because of the nature of this, the report would come to us in closed meeting at the recommendation of our council. So does anyone have any questions on this? Questions, comments, concerns? So this then would come up again, I believe, at an upcoming board meeting to be scheduled by the chair. And with that, the governance committee is over. A half hour early.
So
Go ahead.
I think we can just have consensus that we agreed to this measure, and they'll just add it to the report.
Is that a better plan? I guess.
think so.
Is that-
Yeah, then we can just
Okay,
move forward.
I'm fine. Is that the consensus of the board to simply add it in there? All right, then we won't, then that's what we will do. And this work session is adjourned.
Then, you got it. So, Ms. McLaughlin and Mr. Stork, what I would suggest, Ms. Goddard, if lunch is here, I would suggest we have lunch, and if we could ask staff to come a little bit early, and then we will have an additional time, which may be necessary for the facilities report.
So
1
we'll
o'clock.
reconvene at 1 o'clock?
Yes, reconvene at 1 o'clock if lunch is here.